Welcome to House of Old Time Radio. Tonight we present a complete four-part Charlie Chan mystery from 1936, The Baffling Murder Mystery. Based on the famous detective created by Earl Derr Biggers, this serial follows Inspector Charlie Chan as he investigates the murder of Colonel Willoughby in San Francisco. A colonel is stabbed in a darkened hallway during a private film showing. His old sergeant is shot the next day, and the only man with a clear motive appears to have an ironclad alibi. This is the full story, presented in the order it originally aired in October 1936. Sit back and enjoy Charlie Chan in The Baffling Murder Mystery.
The most delightfully fascinating character in the realms of mystery, Earl Derr Biggers, Charlie Chan. Charlie Chan, a guest at Mr. Blake's home in San Francisco, finds himself involved in a baffling murder mystery. Colonel Willoughby, also a guest, while showing some motion pictures, is stabbed in the back in the darkened hallway outside the room where the pictures were being shown. The colonel has been searching for his son, supposedly killed during the war, and Honolulu's detective inspector insists that the finding of the whereabouts of this son was responsible for his death. The murdered man's nephew, Gerald Willoughby, wires that he is flying from Chicago to San Francisco, and Charlie Chan insists that Duff of Scotland Yard and O'Brien of the San Francisco police go with him to meet the plane. Charlie Chan and O'Brien arrive at the landing field, where they await the arrival of Inspector Duff.
What do you really expect to find by meeting the plane, Inspector Chan? I haven't had time to be in on all of your planning.
Arrival of plane will determine one thing, Sergeant. That one thing is whether or not Mr. Gerald Willoughby is aboard. Before, I have remarked that journey of 1,000 miles is made a step at a time, and more difficult the journey, the shorter the step.
Mean, and I suppose that the harder the case is, the steps taken to solve it should be slow but certain.
Correct, Sergeant. You see, both Sir Reginald and Duff think that I am foolish to even for one brief moment suspect Gerald. But they are wrong, Sergeant. If, to quote example, I do not satisfy myself that it is Gerald who arrives upon plane from Chicago, then at some future date, when this unsolved case comes to memory, I should always feel that in the one avenue of search which we had not explored, we had lost the solution.
Well, now, Mr. Chan, just supposing that the old man's nephew is aboard the plane, what theory are you going to start on next?
The answer to that, Sergeant, is very simple. If this theory fails at crucial tests, I do not know. Here is that.
Cheerio there, Charlie. I see I did arrive in time. Blake drove us down to the jail to have a few words with our prisoner. I left Miss Mitchell, Blake, and Sir Reginald there and came on to the airport by taxi.
Did young Willoughby say anything?
Yes, Sergeant, he did. He told us why he'd never revealed that he was Colonel Willoughby's son. In fact, he admitted that he had been angry at his father for believing he was guilty to begin with, and that he was just not going to let anyone know that he was even alive.
You pointed out to him, Duff, that with the murder of Simmons, it would be impossible to keep his identity and the story of his disappearance during the war a secret any longer.
Oh, yes, he realizes that
Here
now.
comes the plane. We'd better stand where we can get a full view of everybody getting off.
Quite a few passengers alighting.
Yes. Oh, and there's Gerald.
The heavily built gentleman in the tweed overcoat.
Yes, come on, we'll go over. Cheerio there, Gerald.
Well, by Jove, just up. I didn't expect to see you at the airport.
Well, I know you didn't. Gerald, this is Inspector Chan of the Honolulu Police, and this is Sergeant O'Brien, one of San Francisco's finest.
Oh, very glad to meet you both, I'm sure. Now, tell me, has any progress been made in the solving of my uncle's murder?
Nothing, I'm sorry to say, Mr. Willoughby. We are facing blank wall which stretches in every direction, as far as eye can see.
Well, here's a taxi. Got any luggage, Gerald?
Yes, one suitcase and a briefcase.
I'll take care of them. Jump in.
And Mr. Blake's Russian Hill driver. You know the place.
Yes, sir.
No, Gerald, the only thing we found out is that your cousin is still alive.
My cousin? What are you talking about?
Douglas is alive.
Douglas? But, why, impossible.
Afraid not impossible, Mr. Willoughby. It is fact which cannot be denied.
But can you be certain that it isn't some imposter?
What do you mean, Mr. Willoughby?
Well, several people in all odd corners of the world knew that my uncle was always searching for his son. My uncle always believed that his son was still alive. But don't you think it possible that one of them might be trying to get some money for himself by impersonating Douglas?
It's a perfectly good theory, Gerald, but not only did Chan surmise that the man we found was young Douglas, but, well, Simmons, your uncle's old sergeant major, was the one who invited him to Blake's house.
Simmons? Oh, yes, I remember. Old Tubby Simmons. And Tubby Simmons identified this fellow as my cousin?
Sure, and he did. But Simmons is dead now, too.
Well, what happened to Simmons?
Murdered. Just the same as your uncle. And by the same man. At least, that's Inspector Chan's theory. I can't think of a better one.
But what reason could anyone have for murdering my uncle to begin with? And why Simmons? Why, yes, I'd actually forgotten Simmons' existence.
We were hoping to get an answer from you on that point, Mr. Willoughby. Have you no possible suggestion to give us as to who might wish to kill your uncle?
Not a glimmer of an idea. When I received word that the old gentleman had been killed, murdered, I couldn't grasp it. It didn't seem possible. He hadn't an enemy in the world.
But he might have made one in his insistent search for his son.
Who? Uncle's search for Douglas was harmless enough. Naturally, we felt sorry for Uncle, his only son, charged with cowardice, then his suicide. There was nothing in that to make anyone want to kill my uncle.
We shall not attempt to pursue that course further. You must be tired from your trip. We will leave questioning until we reach Mr. Blake's home. If you'll be so kind, think of anything which has occurred in past years which might lead us to one small vestige of clue.
Here we are.
I'll pay the taxi. This goes on the expense sheet.
Oh, come now, Sergeant.
That's all right, sir.
Our host, Mr. Blake. Sir Reginald and Miss Evelyn returned yet?
Yes, both in the library. Going over the notes on the case.
Oh, hello, Gerald. Hello, Reggie.
I'm awfully glad to see you, old man.
Yes,
Sorry about this.
I hadn't heard any particulars. Just what Duff and Inspector Chan told me on the way over. Where did it happen?
Right here, sir, at the bottom of the stairs. The murderer must have slipped into the hallway and killed your uncle. Slipped out of the house, all within 3 minutes.
After all the traveling my uncle did, all his adventurous life, to come here to deliver a lecture...
But you must not dwell upon that thought.
But it seems so senseless, I can't help but think of it. The old gentleman, full of life, still fired with the search for Douglas, coming face to face with his murderer in this hallway.
Please, Mr. Gerald. Better, I think, that we all retire to library.
I have some sherry for you. It's a bit cold outside. Can't think of anything better. Miss Evelyn, this is Gerald, the Colonel's nephew.
Oh, how do you do, Miss Evelyn?
Miss Mitchell was your uncle's secretary.
Yes, of course. I've corresponded with her, although we hadn't met.
I'm very glad indeed to meet you. Mr. Chan, I have all those notes transcribed for you if you...
Yes, Miss Evelyn. We shall go to work on them now. You will pardon us, I know, but Miss Evelyn and Sergeant O'Brien have some work to do with me.
Oh, certainly, old chap.
Dinner will be in about 45 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Blake.
Anything I can do to help, Chan, just call me.
Certainly.
Well, Inspector?
Find in your tone of voice echo in my own mind, Sergeant. We seem, after considerable thought and effort, to have arrived nowhere.
I was watching you. It was a bit of a shock to see Mr. Gerald getting off that plane. It put the case on the white open list again.
You feel that all your efforts have been in vain? All your deductions were wrong?
All our deductions wrong? No. Sergeant, I have been blind, stupid. I deserve metaphorical dumbscap, placed on head and pressed well down over ears.
What are you talking about?
Door is closed, yes. There is no use appealing to Duff or Sir Reginald for help in this. They will find it hard to believe when we prove it. Miss Evelyn's remark, all our deductions wrong, gave me courage. Were our deductions about young man found robbing Colonel's room wrong? No. We said he was Colonel's son. We were right.
And you maintained that Simmons had seen service with the Colonel. That was also right.
Precisely, Miss Evelyn. We also believed that without proper protection, Simmons' life was in danger. Despite our beliefs and our care, the murderer struck the second time, and Simmons' life was forfeit.
I begin to see what you're getting at. All the deductions to date have been right, and there's no reason now to be thinking anything different.
But Mr. Gerald, you suspect him, and he's been on the plane from Chicago.
So we think. So we think. Logical course of thinking and drawing conclusions brings us to Mr. Gerald Willoughby as killer. Very well. We must prove it. Can I rely upon your assistance?
Certainly, Mr. Chen.
Well, I hate to make any blunders.
Do not fear, Sergeant. We shall not blunder. Gerald is guilty party. Out of his own mouth he condemned himself. We have only to prove it.
What exactly does the inspector mean? What did Gerald say that condemned him? After you've heard from your sponsor, Inspector Chan will be with us again. Well, Mr. Chan, what have you for us this evening?
I have been thinking of statements made by a murderer, which, while not proof of guilt in court, is proof to me.
Yes, Mr. Chan?
It is more easy for a man to build in one day a temple than to expiate in one life a lie.
most delightfully fascinating character in the realms of mystery, Earl Derr Biggers, Charlie Chan. In the case of the murder of Colonel Willoughby, Charlie Chan is convinced that he knows who the murderer is. Gerald Willoughby, the murdered man's nephew, apparently has an ironclad alibi. He was in Chicago when the colonel was killed, and he was en route to San Francisco when Simmons, the butler, was killed. But Inspector Chan, after duly pondering the case, sees in the nephew the only man with a vestige of motive, sees in his own theoretical case the only reasonable assumption possible. The island detective believes that for reasons unknown, Gerald had desired both the colonel and his son out of the way. The bulky Honolulu detective sits in a chair by the library fire, talking to Sergeant O'Brien and Miss Evelyn Mitchell, the murdered man's secretary.
You see, Sergeant, in this case we are dealing with a very prominent man, and we must prove sufficient motive if we are to even force an arrest.
But how in the world are you going to do that, Inspector? You can't prove a motive when you haven't got a single piece of writing, not a solitary witness. Now, if it was money, that's easy. Or a woman, that's easier.
A woman? Well, Sir Reginald did say something about both cousins being in love with the same woman, Gerald's wife. Oh, but that hardly fits the case as far as the murder of the colonel is concerned.
But it may, who can tell? Observe, if you please, peculiar situation. I am convinced that Gerald killed his uncle, then killed Simmons. Yet, if you should ask me for motive, I can only give a suggestion. If you say Gerald has alibi, he was in Chicago when first murder was committed, and on planes flying to San Francisco when second murder was committed, I can only say it is for purpose of proving that said Gerald has motive that we are here. It is to break said alibi that we must bend all our efforts.
And you're after feeling quite sure that Mr. Duff won't help us?
That is not strictly correct, Sergeant. But Inspector Duff has known Gerald Willoughby for years. He cannot conceive of his being guilty. He does not wish to find him guilty.
Nor does Sir Reginald. Oh, not that he has said anything, but, well, I just know, that's all.
Quite so, Miss Evelyn. Both Duff and Sir Reginald will assist us to do everything necessary when we present them with some semblance of proof. But to present moment, all I can place before them is theoretical case, which I have built because there is no practical evidence of contrary nature.
I can understand Duff's feelings. I'm the same way when it comes to making a move that will bring a case before the district attorney or the grand jury. More than once I've known who a murderer was, but I couldn't do anything about it. I didn't have the proof.
Quite true, Sergeant, and that is the situation here. It is not murder we have to find. It is method whereby he committed murder.
But we can't get away from the fact that Gerald sent that telegram from Chicago before Simmons was killed, which proves that he was in Chicago the day after his uncle's murder. An impossibility.
Do you recall the true particulars of the murder in the Rue Morgue? Not the story by the great author Edgar Allan Poe, but the actual case from which he built his story of the ape.
It's kind of hazy in my mind.
I always thought it was a piece of fiction.
By no means. The murder took place at number 16 La Rue Morgue. 2 o'clock in the morning. Rose Delacourt goes into her apartment. Observe. The woman was seen to enter her room. The stout oak door was bolted on the inside. The window likewise was bolted on the inside. The chimney, so small that not even a cat could get in or out, yet here is a woman stabbed with such force that the blade, which must have been like the blade of a sword, goes through the body to the mattress. Not a cry, not a sound. Yet the woman is dead. It is an unsolved crime. But, while no one can prove who committed it, it was committed. While we have not so far proved that Joel committed this murder, he is the only one with motive. The fact that we cannot prove how he did it does not permit us to shrug shoulders, so to speak, and retire from case.
I'm with you, Inspector. Somehow, someplace, we've missed the point. Somewhere the murderer slipped. Somewhere we've slipped. Some little thing we haven't given the right thought to.
Correct, Sergeant. Let us retrace steps for a moment. Night of murder, Colonel Willoughby is standing in gymnasium. Note, which he believes was written by Duff, is slipped into his hand.
He walks about 12 steps to the hallway, and in less than 2 minutes, you, Mr. Chan, find him lying there dead.
The very next day, Simmons answers the door. We go out to see what's happened to him. Within 2 minutes, and he only says, records. I saw it was
records. Records. Think, Sergeant. Is it not strange that a man in his last moments should use the word records in preference to papers? Records.
Military records or police records?
Be so kind as to ask Duff and Sir Reginald and Joel to step into the room, please. Also, Mr. Blake. I wish to ask favor of him.
Sure, Inspector.
Thank you so much. Miss Evelyn, we have not searched Colonel's business papers as thoroughly as we have searched private correspondence. Perhaps in that we have been somewhat negligent. We shall correct it. You have papers here?
In this black briefcase. I'll spread them out on the desk here by the window.
I do not wish to appear hurried, but I am anxious to leave day after tomorrow by steamer.
You actually believe you can solve this by then?
I am confident of it. I am certain that with Mr. Blake's cooperation, we shall trap murderer into showing visible evidence of his guilt, and then confession will follow suit. Yes, I am certain of it. Yes, we have been discussing last words of Simmons, words which he repeated, record. We thought that record was a strange word for a dying man to use. Somehow, persistent thought comes to us that in that word there is definite clue.
I've done quite a bit of thinking about that too, Charlie. But I can't think of any military records in connection with the case at all. Perhaps Gerald knows something.
No, really, I don't. It's all very distressing. My cousin Douglas was ordered tried by court-martial for cowardice. The papers carried the story. We were all very much upset.
Naturally. It is a distressing affair, as you say, to a family of military reputation. You were in France at the time?
Yes, so of course I didn't know much about it. I was colonel of a territorial unit. Well, as I say, just a few days before the court was to convene, Douglas committed suicide.
We now know, of course, that he did not. But that is what you thought at the time.
Yes. Well, we managed to have the thing hushed up then, but it almost broke Uncle's heart.
How long afterwards was it before Colonel Willoughby began to doubt that his son had committed suicide?
I can answer that, Inspector. The Colonel came to me with the story that an old soldier, whom we now know to be Simmons, told the Colonel that Douglas wasn't dead. He said that he never was guilty of cowardice. And the old man immediately started on a trip around the world to see if he could locate his son. He's been traveling ever since, 11 years now.
And you, Mr. Willoughby, knew nothing of this?
I knew a little of it, yes. I was like my uncle. I didn't like the idea of the stigma of cowardice being attached to the family. But I know the Army. Charges of cowardice aren't brought lightly. They're generally well substantiated.
Quite so. But to return to the word record. No one can give leading thought on that point.
I'm afraid not, Inspector.
Come in, please. Drake. Sit down, please. I have favor to ask of you in 1 moment.
I'll be delighted.
The only other records I could think of, Charlie, were police records.
I thought of them too, Inspector, but that don't seem to help us much.
I can't see it either, Sergeant.
Oh, before I forget, you have convinced Mr. Gerald that prisoner we have at present in jail is Colonel Son Douglas?
Yes, I'm convinced. But I don't see what on earth he was doing searching my uncle's papers.
Quite clear, I think. Young man was fearful that he was to be disclosed, and for reasons best known to himself, he desires that the past be dead.
Naturally, no one at his age wants to be reminded of an experience of 20 years ago.
Ah, but it is more than that. Think, please. Is there any other reason he might have for wishing truth not to become known?
Why, no, of course not.
Ah, you are tired from trip. I understand, yes. That will be all just now. Thank you so much. Oh, Inspector Duff, will you stay behind for one moment, please, with Mr. Blake?
Of course.
I'm going down to the jail. Want to come, Evelyn? Miss Mitchell?
Do you mind, Mr. Chan?
Indeed, no. I think little fresh air will do you good, especially taken in company of Sir Reginald. Yes.
By Jove, you do notice things, don't you, Charlie? Come along, Evelyn. Right with you, Gerald.
Mr. Blake, would you be kind enough to invite all guests who were present night Colonel was killed to attend another gathering at your home?
Why, certainly, if you have a reason.
I have very definite reasons. I intend to clear mystery.
When? I mean, today or tomorrow?
Tomorrow evening at 7.
Just as you say, Inspector.
Sergeant, you are to stay with me tonight. We will complete our little plot.
I'll be Johnny on the spot, Inspector.
Duff, my old friend, I am going to play a role of Chinese Santa Claus tomorrow. Can you have British consul here as one of guests?
Certainly, but what's the big idea?
I am going to vindicate honor of young man at present in jail. I wish official witness of confession of murderer that Lieutenant Douglas Willoughby was not coward as charged by superior officer.
Well, the Honolulu detective is convinced that he has the solution to the murder. After you've heard from your sponsor, Inspector Chan will be with us again. Well, Inspector Chan, what piece of Chinese philosophical wisdom do you have for us this evening?
I am thinking of complicated case in which we find ourselves struggling.
Yes, Mr. Chan?
At night, when one stands upon the banks of the Yellow River, one hears the angry voices of the waters. One thinks of the power of the current. One sees the foaming, seething vortex, and one is afraid. But with the coming of daylight, the Yellow River becomes a swift stream, a river of life flowing through a rich country, an artery of commerce, and one is no longer afraid. One is overjoyed. So it is with all things. Man fears only that which he cannot see or understand. To understand is the most important thing in life.
The most delightfully fascinating character in the realms of mystery, Earl Derr Biggers, Charlie Chan. Charlie Chan, Inspector Duff, and Sir Reginald Bartleby are guests at the Blake home in San Francisco, where Colonel Willoughby, the world-famous traveler, was giving a lecture on China. During the showing of the picture, the film started to slip. Inspector Chan, surprised that the colonel did not notice the blurred film, orders the lights switched on. The colonel is found murdered. The following day, the one man who could provide an explanation of the affair, Simmons, the butler, is found at the front door shot through the heart. Inspector Chan, going on the assumption that the whole case hinges on the colonel's search for his lost son, builds a theoretical case against Gerald Willoughby, the murdered man's nephew. And we find Sergeant O'Brien of the San Francisco Police discussing the case with the Honolulu detective in Mr. Blake's library.
Ah, here you are, Mr. Chan. I just been after trying to get our prisoner down there in the jail to tell us something. But he won't say a word, that he won't.
You advised him, of course, that his identity must now be made known, that he can no longer hide the fact that he is Lieutenant Douglas Willoughby, who was supposed to have committed suicide during the war?
Oh, sure. But it don't seem to make any difference. He says that he won't tell the name of the officer who brought charges of cowardice against him. And that since there isn't anyone alive today who knows anything about it, we can't find out.
You told him of the murder of Simmons, then?
Sure, and I did. I thought the shock might force him into saying something. You see, Mr. Chan, I figured this way. Unless we can learn the truth about the charge being brought against the young fellow, we can't prove motive against our suspect.
You are quite correct, Sergeant. Confident as I am that I know who the murderer is, I can do nothing toward effecting a conviction unless I can prove that our suspect had much to gain by murdering the colonel. The murder of Simmons, of course, was merely to silence the one remaining witness.
You've got more than that to prove, Mr. Chan.
What, Sergeant?
How Gerald was able to kill the colonel in San Francisco when Gerald was obviously in Chicago. Also, how he was able to kill Simmons when he was on a plane between here and Chicago.
Come here, Sergeant. Observe, if you will be so kind, papers on this desk.
Yes, I see them. Airline schedules.
Sergeant, do you ever place yourself in position of person wishful of committing murder?
Well, I try to do that when I'm figuring what the criminal might be likely to do.
Assume with me for a moment, please, that we are murderer with desire to kill Colonel. He must do so without arousing any suspicion of himself naturally.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Potential murderer is not known in the United States. So he engages a room for himself at a hotel in Chicago. He then engages some person to live in said hotel. This person to make himself seen frequently, thereby providing alibi for himself, while he takes train to San Francisco under assumed name and in disguise.
I get you. He gets some feller to hang around the hotel so he's an alibi, while he gets on the same train as Duff and comes out here to San Francisco.
Correct, Sergeant. Having left behind him his alibi, he comes to this house where he knows Colonel will be, slips into the hallway, kills Colonel, and leaves no trace but few silk threads of scarf on the hilt of knife he used.
Yeah, but Mr. Chan...
Yes, Sergeant?
That don't account for Mr. Gerald Willoughby being able to get off the plane arriving from Chicago. He's got an alibi there we can't break.
I think... Yes. I am certain I know how that was accomplished.
You do?
Yes, Sergeant. Mr. Gerald Willoughby sent wire, possibly in code, telling his accomplice to take plane for San Francisco via Los Angeles.
Coming by Los Angeles? But why?
Because, Sergeant, he killed Simmons, caught plane for Los Angeles, and changed places with his accomplice, who had booked passage in name of Gerald Willoughby. Therefore, when we went to plane to meet him, he had all appearance of having made through trip from Chicago. I have checked time schedule, with time Simmons was killed, and in manner I have described, both murders were possible.
Well, I'm with you. What's the next move?
After interview with Inspector Duff and Sir Reginald, you must go to hotel at which murderer is stopping and possess yourself of a pair of his shoes. Also search for colored scarf, threads of which we found on the hilt of knife. Come in, please. Ah, Miss Evelyn, Inspector Duff, Sir Reginald, we were talking of you.
Have you made any progress?
I think so. Yes, I am confident we have. Although one should not forget, that it is unwise to sell the blooms before the seeds are in the ground.
Chinese manner of saying, don't count your chickens before they're hatched.
You have finished the little task I set you, Miss Evelyn?
Well, I don't know whether or not you'll call it finished, Mr. Chan, but I've got quite a list made out.
Yes, by Jove. We've been sitting in the study trying to think of all the different kinds of records. It's been quite like a crossword puzzle game.
I didn't know there were so many different kinds of records.
I gather then that your list is, shall we say, formidable?
It is. Shall I read it?
Thank you so much.
Sports records, aviation records, stratosphere records, sailing records, medical records, police records, court records, weightlifting records, sales records, birth records.
One moment, please. May I have the list?
Certainly. Here you are.
Thank you so much. Duff, my friend, where is Mr. Gerald?
At his hotel, dressing for the party tonight, I suppose. Which reminds me, we'd better be doing the same.
But you have time to do something for me?
Oh, certainly. What is it?
Will you go to jail and bring to party our prisoner?
Douglas?
Yes, please. Do not for 1 second let him out of your sight. To do so may mean his life. You, Sir Reginald, will you assist?
Naturally, I'll do anything.
Without arousing suspicion, will you go to Mr. Gerald's hotel and escort him here? The moment he is ready to leave, upon some pretext or other, phone either myself or Sergeant that you are leaving.
Well, yes, I just as soon help to prove that you're on the wrong track by suspecting Gerald. I'll do as you ask.
Again, thank you so much. As you leave, please be so kind as to ask Mr. Blake to step into the library.
Righto, I shall.
When we receive telephone call from Sir Reginald to effect that Mr. Gerald is on his way here, then you, Sergeant, can proceed with safety to search for colored scarf, which will, I am certain, show where fine threads have been dragged from fabric by engraved handle of knife murderer used.
Sure, and I will. And at the same time, I'll get a pair of his shoes.
Correct, Sergeant.
You wanted me, Inspector?
Ah, yes, Mr. Blake. Is it possible, do you think, that tonight, when guests are served glasses of liquid refreshment, that Sergeant O'Brien could play a role of butler?
What? Me play a butler? Are you joking, Mr. Chan? I couldn't pass for a butler.
You are a good detective, Sergeant. You must play butler.
Of course. I don't understand why you want him to do that, but I'll do all I can to help.
You are outvoted, Sergeant. You play leading role of butler.
Oh, but honest, Mr. Chan.
One moment, Sergeant, while I explain. In serving glasses to guests, you will be in position of possessing yourself of glass used by Mr. Gerald. Said glass will undoubtedly be marked by fingerprints. Said fingerprints may be necessary in obtaining eventual conviction.
All right, Mr. Chan, I'll play butler. But if the boys and the force ever hear of this, I'll never hear the end of it.
Do not worry, Sergeant. When this case is ended, you will be inspector. I can assure you of it.
And I'm after telling you, Inspector, that I appreciate it.
If there isn't anything else, Inspector Chan, I'll hurry along.
Of course. You have preparations for guests. All over here, night of murder, are to be here tonight?
Every one of them.
One more thing before you leave. Little statuette of soldier which murdered Colonel grasped in his hand as he was struck down. You will place that in living room in some high place where it can be noticed, but where it cannot be touched.
Certainly, yes. I'll attend to that.
Use cloth in holding statuette. We do not wish to disturb fingerprints, but I do wish to see whether or not Mr. Gerald's eyes are irresistibly drawn toward it.
I'll be careful.
And Miss Evelyn, you desire to leave us to get properly attired for party?
If you don't require me.
By no means. Case is almost ended. Run along and get into your pretty clothes for your pleasure, as well as that of Sir Reginald.
Why, Mr. Chan, how did you know?
Am I not supposedly detective?
Oh, I forgot. I found this piece of film in the library. It belongs to the Colonel's travel film.
Ah, yes. Piece broken off, by the way. In looking at film before, I noticed something I did not understand. Perhaps you, Miss Evelyn, can explain. What is black line running down extreme edge of film?
Oh, well, that's the soundtrack. These are sound pictures, you know. But the Colonel didn't have the reproducing equipment with him. On his Chinese trip, he recorded the sound both on the film and on the records.
Records?
Records?
So stupid of us. Quickly, Sergeant. We go to Simmons' room, make thorough search. I think... Yes, I am certain. When we have found record to which Simmons referred, case is finished.
So, it was a sound record to which Simmons referred in his final words. What secret can the record contain? We'll have to leave that for Inspector Chan to divulge. After you've heard from your sponsor, Inspector Chan will be with us again. Well, Mr. Chan, what Chinese philosophical saying have you for us this evening?
I am thinking of people who are in such hurry to say things that they afterwards find that they would have been wiser to have said nothing.
That is very true, Inspector.
Ancient Chinese saying has it this wise: man can tie knot with his tongue, which his hands can never untie.
Thank you, Inspector Chan, and good night. The most delightfully fascinating character in the realms of mystery, Earl Derr Biggers, Charlie Chan. The solution of the murder of Colonel Willoughby and Simmons is at hand. Charlie Chan, having built a theoretical case against the murdered man's nephew, Gerald Willoughby, only waits the gathering together of the guests who were present the night the murder was committed to obtain convincing proof that his theory is correct. Sergeant O'Brien, disguised as the butler, stands in the study with Sir Reginald, Mr. Blake, and Miss Evelyn Mitchell, while Charlie Chan completes his plans for trapping the murderer.
Everything is in readiness, Mr. Blake?
Yes, Inspector, as far as I know.
You received a little bronze statuette of soldier from police and placed it in room in which guests are assembling?
That he did, Mr. Chan. I brought it from headquarters myself.
And you, Miss Evelyn, attended to your little duties this afternoon?
Why, Mr. Chan, how did... I mean, what do you mean?
Useless to hide things from detectives. Is that not so, Sir Reginald?
Apparently so, Inspector. I suppose that we'll be casting no bombshells in your direction when I tell you that Evelyn and I are to be married.
I am truly delighted. I wish you very, very much happiness.
Thanks, old chap.
Thank you, Mr. Chan.
You have fingerprint man here, Sergeant?
Sure I have, Mr. Chan. He's in the kitchen. He's a good one, and he works fast.
As soon as you have served first round of drinks, you will be careful to see the glass Mr. Gerald uses is segregated so that fingerprint identification is made quickly and easily.
I do wish you'd drop the whole thing, Charlie. I hate to see you make a mistake.
But if Mr. Chan does make a mistake, no one but ourselves will know. If the fingerprints on the wine glass don't correspond with the prints on the statuette, no one needs to know anything.
Miss Evelyn is correct. Mr. Blake, host, will not be embarrassed. Mr. Gerald will never know he was suspected. You left Mr. Gerald in the living room, Sir Reginald?
Yes, he's talking to some of the guests. Duff is there to see that nothing goes wrong along these lines.
Mr. Gerald has not recognized his cousin Douglas?
No, Duff introduced him, Douglas, as Mr. Jim Watson. And Gerald took the introduction as a matter of course. By Jove.
What, Sir Reginald?
I was thinking of Isabel, Gerald's wife. If you're right, Charlie, this is going to be pretty bad for her.
Unfortunately, criminal in his activities brings unhappiness and ruin to more than himself. The criminal always thinks he is more clever than other people.
By the way, Inspector, one thing I want to know. What speech did Gerald make when you first spoke with him that convinced you of his guilt?
You will remember Mr. Gerald spoke of his uncle meeting the murderer face to face. Now you know that no one except ourselves and the murderer knew that Willoughby had been stabbed in the heart while facing his assailant.
By Jove, Mr. Chan, I do recall.
Now, Mr. Blake, if you and Sir Reginald will go to the living room, and you, Sergeant, will serve drinks.
All right, Mr. Chan.
After you have had glass tested for fingerprints, you will return to living room, knock on door this way. We shall then know that fingerprint test has been successful.
I'll do everything the way you want it, Mr. Chan.
Good luck, Sergeant, in role of butler.
I'll need it.
After you, Blake.
Now, Miss Evelyn, you have notebook and pencil.
Yes, Mr. Chan.
You will enter room with me, and as unobserved as a beautiful lady can be, you take secluded seats where you can make notes of everything that transpires.
Yes, Mr. Chan. I'll sit by the heavy curtains in the window.
Come then. We shall join others in living room. My arm, Miss Evelyn. We must enter as naturally as possible. Nothing must be done to arouse suspicion of murder, although, if my theories are correct, he already is in shadow of noose.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to those of you not already met him, Inspector Chan of the Honolulu Police.
How do you do? Yes, I shall be as brief as possible. You must all, of course, know why you are here tonight. I promised Mr. Blake, Inspector Duff of Scotland Yard, Sir Reginald, that here in this room I should give into their hands the murderer of Colonel Douglas Willoughby. It is a theory, but a practical one, that the murderer invariably revisits the scene of his crime. We decided not to risk success by theory, so we brought murderer here. May I humbly submit this thought to you? It is one thing to know who is murderer. It is an entirely different thing to present proof that will result in conviction of said murderer. This much we know. Murderer was person who was acquainted with daily activities of murdered colonel. He had followed him to this house from hotel. We are likewise certain of one other fact. Murdered colonel saw and recognized murderer, and in one last desperate effort to leave us with essential clue, murdered man grasped a little statuette of soldier which stood on stair rail. That was the essential clue, which, within 3 minutes, shall place hangman's rope about cruel and vicious criminals. You have rung bell for butler, Sir Reginald?
Yes, Inspector, he ought to be here now.
Come in.
You rang, sir?
There is no longer any necessity to disguise yourself, Sergeant. You may bring the evidence in. Place same on table.
Here you are, Sergeant. I'll help you.
Phonograph.
What on earth kind of evidence can that be?
Phonograph.
Correct. Those of us who were present when Simmons was murdered Remember his last words. Records. He said, get records. Through process of elimination, Inspector Duff, Sir Reggie and I determined upon phonograph records. But enough. Record speaks for itself. You have wound the motor, Sergeant?
She's all ready, Inspector.
Very good. Quiet, please, everyone.
To whom it may concern, this is the voice of one James Walker, attorney at law and notary public. I swear that in my presence the two gentlemen who speak have satisfied me that they are whom they represent themselves to be, Colonel Douglas Willoughby and Sergeant Major Simmons.
Quiet, please.
I am going to explain why I made this recording. I did so because I know that in the event of my death by accident, should I leave only papers divulging the nature of this expose, that these papers would fall into hands I did not trust. The world knows that during the war, my son was charged with cowardice, and that he was supposed to have committed suicide. This was not the case. My son and my nephew, Gerald, grew up together. Gerald was older, the more aggressive of the two. They both fell in love with the same woman, and to my satisfaction, for I loved her like a daughter. She seemed to care for my son. The threatened court-martial and supposed death of my son changed all that, and Isabel married Gerald. After the war, Sergeant Major Simmons came to me and told me that his conscience was hurting him. He speaks for himself.
You see, sir, it was this way. Master Gerald was in command of the sector. He ordered Master Douglas to retreat. Master Douglas did so, and Master Gerald brought charges of cowardice against him.
It's a lie, a lot of trumped-up nonsense.
Quiet, please.
I'll make you shut up.
Very upset. And Master Douglas, realizing that to fight back meant dragging the family name through the mud, so to speak, made me swear never to reveal the truth. You see, sir, Master Douglas did not wish to hurt Lady Isabel, now Master Gerald's wife.
I believe we have heard enough to satisfy you on the grounds of motive.
And it would
If the need, if you will be so kind, Doctor.
That was on Simmons' part to blackmail me. That wasn't my uncle's voice. This whole thing is a plot.
Sergeant, you have the wine glass?
Yes, Inspector.
Likewise, silk handkerchief, colored handkerchief?
Yes, and the shoes. They're all in this box.
Ah, yes. Observe, please, how nicely shoe fits into plaster cast we made of murderous footprint. This shoe, Mr. Gerald, was taken from your room. Do you deny it?
What about it? You probably made the print to fit my shoe.
Ah, then this colored silk scarf. It is yours?
I don't know.
It was found likewise by Sergeant in your trunk. Observe, if you please. Threads pulled from center. Same threads, according to chemists, are threads found on the hilt of knife used to kill Colonel Willoughby.
A good lawyer will soon take care of these theories.
So I thought, Mr. Gerald. But here is something no lawyer, no matter how good, can defend. The glass, Sergeant?
Here it is, Inspector.
Tonight, Sergeant, playing part of butler, served cocktails. He took glasses to fingerprint expert, waiting in kitchen. Fingerprints on your glass, Mr. Gerald, are same as fingerprints found on little statuette of soldier, which now stands on top shelf of bookcase. Have you touched that since you came into this house?
I'll swear that he hasn't. He couldn't have.
He hasn't touched it tonight. I've been with him practically every minute.
Exactly. And he could not have touched it before, since it has been in possession of police. When did your fingerprints find their way to that piece of bronze?
I'm not talking.
There is no need. Your fingerprints were left on that statuette when murdered man held it before him in one last effort at defense. You are satisfied, Duff?
Quite, Chan. Well satisfied.
Sir Reginald?
Yes, Inspector. There's no doubt in my mind.
Very good. Sergeant, you may arrest Mr. Gerald Willoughby for the murder of his uncle, Colonel Willoughby.
Do you come quietly, or do I have to put the bracelets on you?
I'll come quietly.
The slyest fox, though he raid the farm 12 times, finds to his cost that his very boldness is his undoing. So it is with man. The murderer, though he planned carefully, leaves the mark of Cain upon his work as surely as he carries said mark in his heart.
After you've heard from your sponsor, Inspector Chan will be with us again. Well, Inspector Chan, what do you have for us this evening?
Case we have completed reminds me of ancient sayings. Do not despise a tender rice shoot. Today, its loss means nothing, but carefully tended, it may tomorrow prevent a famine.
Meaning in our Occidental tongue that unconsidered trifles may be very important.
Correct, Mr. Wilson.
Thank you, and good night.